sites.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll just be quick because everyone wants to have a say. Firstly, a 20% minimum requirement for the provision of social housing or affordable housing in new housing developments. There's a huge amount of money in the property development sector, and I think the provision of a minimum amount of social or affordable housing out of these wildly profitable developments will go a long way in the community and will help to boost our local economies. So that's one thing. Aside from that, we do have a policy to introduce a cap on rent increases to 1 per year. That's something, as I said, we would be interested in looking at extending to the small business sector. But because as small business owners that I've spoken to have attested to, the cost of renting your small business is one of your major outlays. So that's something that we're very interested in exploring over the coming years. Yeah, that's all I'll cover for now, but there are plenty more. Thank you. Okay. Victor.
Well, the Premier's just recently announced that we'll commit $1 billion to affordable housing in New South Wales if we're re-elected, but more importantly, we are continually opening up new greenfield sites for residential development. So, there are two areas there that we can put a downward pressure on the price of housing.
Julie.
Thanks. It's a really huge issue, particularly if anyone locally knows about the Ivanhoe Estate situation. The people there for 2 years have been uncertain as to whether they're going to be evicted or not, and they're still uncertain. But what I have suggested to them specifically is to, if it happens, is to get right of return and like for like. So if they are in like a 2-bedroom unit, that they get a 2-bedroom unit in return. And this relates to a little bit like what Justin was saying, that the developers are making a lot of money. $800,000 for a small 2-bedroom unit in Herring Road. And I don't know how many there's there, probably a couple hundred. So they are making a huge profit. So I think, I'm not quite sure what our percentage is for CDP, but definitely some percentage of the new developers have to put in for affordable housing.
Thank you, Julie. Sharon?
Thanks. Stefan, you mentioned that affordable housing wasn't a business issue, and I'd just like to disagree with you there. It's absolutely a business issue because what secure and affordable housing does is it gives you employees who are more productive and I guess a lot happier and certain in their local community. It's just right now in Ryde, you could not afford to purchase a home if you were on a modest wage. And people that are on modest wage work in the Macquarie Centre, they work in Macquarie Park, they work in small business, they do administration at the local accountant, and affordable housing is important for government to provide to enable a workforce that is close by to where people are employed. It's been proven across the world. New York have just put a massive target on affordable housing. London has done the same. Affordable housing gives a community, and a diverse community like Ryde, just a real sense of completion. You have all demographics, and it is absolutely a business issue. In regards to what I will do, I can tell you what I've done. Ryde Council currently doesn't have a formalised affordable housing plan. Late last year, I moved a motion on council to hold a summit, an affordable housing summit, and invite the experts across the field. Over 100 people attended, and we heard all these examples of why affordable housing is good for society. We don't have any mandated percentages on development. That has to change. I note on Tuesday night we held a councillors' workshop where 3 options were provided. Unfortunately, I couldn't attend because my daughter had her tonsils out, but I'm told it went well. I spoke to the Mayor beforehand. And most importantly, there is bipartisan support for an affordable housing plan in Ryde. I hope the Mayor will hold up his end of the bargain, because this is really an area where unfortunately the market doesn't work. When it comes to providing affordable housing in a certain part of town, the market just can't provide it. So it requires government to step in, to either incentivise developers to provide affordable housing, to have certain government-owned land redeveloped and operated by council for affordable housing. The last thing it needs all three levels of government to come to the table. There are zoning issues that need to be dealt with, there's funds that come from the feds, there's the state government that can also incentivise affordable housing and seniors housing. So hopefully we can achieve that sooner rather than later, because there's a lot of 30-year-olds still living at home, and that's not a good thing.
Thank you, Jerome. I'm going to do my Tony